What's up out there? So I've been working on my Bone Shatter build in the background. I've got it up to level 96. I've started working towards 97. I spent some time in the middle there. The leveling grind is horribly boring. So I spent some time doing some bossing. I worked on the Exarch for a little bit, killed him a few times. I've been working on the Eater, building up their currency, upgrading my gear, stuff like that. I did get the Formed and Twisted down. I think I had one or both of those down on a previous video. I did work on the Hidden. I actually did that fight, dude. I got killed on that one badly. I do not have Alhesman for that one, so I can't do that. But I've been doing some bossing. In the course of bossing, I ended up getting a, where is it at? Awakened Vicious Projectiles support gem. So I dropped that like Saturday, I think it was, this over the weekend there. And I thought, you know what? I haven't looked at my Caustic Arrow build for a while. So I started looking at my Caustic Arrow build. And I was looking at the build, which came off of here. I think it went through like projectile damage or something like that. Or maybe it went up through these 3 nodes right here. It was the Deadeye variant of that. That's the one I started this league with. It got me through Heist. It did all the cool things that I wanted it to do. But I couldn't really figure out how to make it go any further. And the more I looked at it, the more I looked at this here, which increases chaos damage that comes off of the shadow. It's basically the same exact nodes otherwise, mostly the same. I've made some changes, but it's a lot of the same nodes otherwise, except it comes off the shadow. And I was looking at this and I'm like, why am I taking these 3 points here when I could just come over to this class over here? So I looked at it. I was like, all right, what ascendancies do they have? One ascendancy is basically poison, which Caustic Arrow is not poison. I know that now. And the other one is basically traps. Well, there's a third one, which is this, which is what I've gone into. What are we, Trickster? I keep seeing people say the word Trickster about all these different builds, and I've never really paid attention to what the build was. I just know the words out there all the time. And from what I gather, it's kind of more of a tanky version of every other build. So if you take this build here and make it into a Trickster, you get pretty good tankiness out of it. And I see why. So I ended up picking Polymath, which gives you more damage for every different type of mastery you have allocated. And then you get some life, energy, and mana regen recovered on kill. A little bit extra damage, some evasion and energy shield. And then we've also got Escape Artist, Soul Drinker, and Spellbreaker. So you got spell suppression on this one, and you've got damage leached as energy shield, increased attack speed while leeching, stuff like that. So all kinds of cool stuff for energy shield and the evasion. Yeah, there is some evasion in here. So that means you would want to be using evasion and energy shield gear. So what I did is I sat there and I thought about it for a few seconds. I was looking at my Deadeye build and I'm like, the build is very weak. It's very squishy. It doesn't seem to do a lot of damage. There's a very definite hard ceiling that I hit and I just couldn't figure out how to get it any further. I was going to add these nodes in for damage and I'm like, that's stupid. I could just come over here. So basically on Sunday, I sat down and blasted through the campaign Sunday and Monday. Today's Tuesday now that I'm recording this. And I basically ran through the campaign and took the nodes that pertain to chaos. So I had some other stuff. That other build came from something else that was doing like flask stuff because it was a Pathfinder at some point. And that's a whole sordid story. That's that one I started the league with. It was a big disaster. Or that was one that there's a whole story to it. There's some other videos that explain it all. Big, convoluted story. But at any rate, I stripped off all the things that don't matter. I came up here to you get atrophy. This gives you a bunch of chaos damage. There is some other, you get these chaos nodes here. You've got wasting over here. And then you get charisma because you're right in the neighborhood for that. You get all this mana reservation efficiency and everything. So I just kind of followed it around. I took herbalism like this because you get max life and stuff. And I changed some things about the way this was pathed. So it originally came through here over to I think it came up to maybe Careful Conservationist, maybe went into multi-shot. I don't remember exactly where it all went. But it kind of came down into that. I know we picked up natural remedies at some point. Again, it was a Pathfinder build at some point. So I took a lot of that out and I revamped a lot of this here. Like I kept Trickery because it's got increased damage, increased critical strike chance. We've got Blood Siphon. That's a good one to keep. I also noticed Soul Thief over here. It's got increased evasion, increased energy shield, recover 2% of energy shield on kill. So I grabbed that. Mind Drinker, grab that for the increased mana and recovery of mana on kill. We've got Blood Drinker over here for increased max life, recover life on kill. Clever Thief for leeching both life and mana. This Written in Blood was already taken. Growth and Decay was already on that list. I think we were already in Influence. We were already in Atrophy. So I just kind of moved some of this around. Like I grabbed, like I said, Soul Thief, Mind Drinker, Blood Drinker, Clever Thief. And I might have gone this direction instead of this way. But I cleaned up a lot of this and repathed a few things. We're also pointed into Void Barrier. So this is one that I would not have had on the other build. So with this one, I've got Void Barrier, and then I took the Mastery for every 4 seconds. It regenerates energy shield equal to 1% of evasion rating over 1 second. And then we've got, I think Revenge of the 100 was on there, and I got another 15% chance to suppress spell damage. And we basically just picked all that up. And then we've got Master Fletcher for firing an additional arrow, 20% increased area of effect while wielding a bow for that mastery there, plus 50 life here, herbalism. And I basically tied all this together through finesse. I think this went up through here. I pulled that off because you get heart. We were already at Heart of Oak, so I grabbed this additional life and stun avoidance. We've got finesse, and then put this other chance for spell suppression and increased movement speed. So this thing moves around pretty quick. And we've got Caustic Arrow and Toxic Rain of Withering. So this is the same build. It's just on a Trickster frame instead of on a Deadeye frame. And this is the bow that I had on my Deadeye. This is a piece of armor that I had on one of my other builds. And then a lot of the gems came from that Deadeye. So this Caustic Arrow that's level 20, it's a 2020 gem. I brought that from that build. And I got this Awakened Vicious Projectiles. We've got that there. The Mirage Archer at 2020. The Swift Affliction at 2020. Withering Touch is still working its way up. Decay support looks to be good. And then we're doing Ensnaring Arrow, Mana Forged, and Culling Strike support over here. We've got a Toxic Rain of Withering with Vicious Projectiles. This is corrupted up to 23% quality. We've got Void Manipulation support, increased area of effect, added chaos damage, and Ballista Totem. So on the other build, I was using Hex Touch to do Despair with the Toxic Rain, and Toxic Rain was also Mana Forged. So I was basically just right-clicking everything, and that way it would just, throw the Caustic Arrow, Toxic Rain, all of it out as a right click. Well, with this build, I'm doing the actual totem part. So we can drop totems down, and that starts doing our Toxic Rain bit, which is apparently better for bossing and single targets and stuff like that. So that's what I've been doing. This is currently at level 83. I just leveled up, so I don't have to worry about dying. I am going to run this tier 16 corrupted, decked out map. I think I should be able to survive this. We're going to run this, and I don't have bosses spawning everywhere. I've been running tier 16 maps. I've ran tier 16 maps at level 78. Let's see how this goes. So we can throw these out. A lot of things just die really quickly. And having that energy shield recycle is really good for tankiness. That is amazing for tankiness. So I can go through and kill a whole bunch of stuff. We can kind of keep moving on. We can do the totems, drop those down, let those fire off all that Toxic Rain crap everywhere. We can come in here and kill all this. I am very short on resistances. I'm 80% resistance or something like that, 78% on one. I don't have all my resistances in check. That's definitely not done. So I don't want to say they're rough. They definitely have their downsides, but they are totally doable. I'm not dying here, I'm cruising through. Everything's just fine. We're killing stuff. I was doing this at 78, and you'll notice that I almost died there. It came close. You can definitely see it ticking down. But yeah, depending on mods, depending on monsters and stuff like that, like this is starting to get where things just don't die very quickly. I need the totems a lot more. Oh, it was that thing that was probably trying to kill me there. But like I'm actually doing a tier 16 map at this low of level. I am just amazed that this is even working. But it's working, and I'm here. So I love this change. This was a great change. There's a ton of chaos that comes off of here anyway. I was picking it up for my Deadeye, but like I said, the Deadeye just didn't have any of the life expectancy, and it didn't really have the damage either. This thing's got a ton of damage. I'm killing stuff, no problem. Maybe it's a little slow. Bossing, I don't know how bossing is just yet. And keeping in mind that is also with an Awakened gem on here that I would not have like next league if I was to start this. I fully plan on starting this next league. I think this is a great build, and I enjoyed having, I've said it before, I liked having both builds this league. This opened up Heist to me. Like, I really don't like Heist all that much, but I've always tried it with slow characters that I have to kill everything. With a fast character and you don't have to kill anything, man, or, you know, just kill what you need to and move on. It's so much different, so much better. Let's see. We'll go do a boss fight real quick here. Degens are a problem, and I'm not healing back up. Like, it's a very slow heal. I think I get heals back, like, when I leeching and stuff, I get that back. That's not a big deal. But I definitely don't regen as fast as I probably should. So there's some, like, there's things I need to work out with this build, for sure. This is not a perfect build. I've got a 5, no, I did go ahead and change a 6-link. I swapped my 6-link chest piece over from a different build, so I've got a 6-link chest piece and a 6-link bow. And it's actually the bow I was using on my other side, on my other character. I may die on this one, but we'll see. So we'll throw this stuff out, and I don't know that I've fought a boss with this just yet. I've died plenty of times, but the ensnaring arrows slow things down enough, and then this stuff just sits here. As long as I don't get hit, it's not a big deal, and I just throw my totems out every once in a while. This one's good. Yeah. All right, so that's going to take a while to kill him off. That's probably biting off way more than I should be chewing at the moment, but I feel like at level 83, the fact that I can even cruise through a corrupted tier 16 map like that with like not much issue at all, I think is great. For normal mapping, this thing is fantastic. We'll do this just regular old tier 11 map. We'll throw this in here real quick. You can just shoot and go and maybe loot and scoot as you cruise along. No problem. Of course, there's no mods on this map or anything, but like this stuff just melts, and that's that. If I can get this thing scaled up to where, you know, full tier 16 maps are like that, I think I'm going to start with this next league. This will, like I did this league, I did both the, well, I did two, whatever that other build was that I can't remember what it was called. I don't remember what that was, but it was not Bone Shatter. I ended up doing Bone Shatter later because the other build didn't cut it. So I started this one and that other one. I could definitely see this build being the main build for a while, and then picking up Bone Shatter whenever this one quits working as well as it does. So I think that's what I'm going to end up doing, is running this. I got through the campaign in 7.5 hours. Keep in mind that number one, look at the speed that this has. I don't normally play characters quite this fast, but with the movement speed that I've got and the amount of extra movement speed on my boots, and then the extra movement speed in the passive tree, it moves very quickly. And the Stibonite flask, I was thinking about this. I've got something that recharges my flask now. Where'd that go? One of these recharge. Yeah, flasks gain a charge every 3 seconds. So all these flasks gain charges. I need to redo these how they gain, stuff like that. I need to work on these. But like I've got definitely got some room to improve with the flask that I'm using. I don't necessarily need this movement speed one anymore. This thing moves so fast anyway. The evasion rating is good. The spell suppression adds more spell suppression. I could get by with elemental resistance flask or something like that. Like I've got some options in here because my resistances are pretty bad. 78% there, 110 and 80, not good. But like this build feels really good, and there's a lot of room to grow with it, is basically what I'm saying. Like these gloves aren't necessarily the best. I think they're item level 85, but like I would want to be able to put my implicits on this. Like I can't put it implicits. The only reason I have this is just because I got this as a drop, and then I rolled it and threw it on here. So there's a lot of room for improvement on this, but I do think this is a really good build. This has been a lot of fun. My gear's not that great. I am starting with better gear, so running that tier 16 map is a little nuanced because like this is all item level 85 gear. Well, that's 82, 84, but this is higher in gear. My bow is definitely a lot better. I've got 6-link bow, 6-link chest piece, and it's all fairly well rolled. I had plenty of the exotic currency to put the implicits and stuff on there. So it's a little bit disingenuous on where this build is at, for level 83 with all the stuff it's got. I didn't have to grind all that stuff out. If I was to start the league tomorrow, or if we started a brand new league tomorrow and I started this off from scratch, it would definitely not be where it's at. But this build, with the way the passive tree is set up now, the ascendancy that I'm using, everything feels so much more promising with this. And it's making it that much better. Like I got this Awakened Void, the Awakened Vicious Projectiles. If I could get more Awakened stuff for this, like maybe if there's a Void, where's that at? Void Manipulation, I think there's an Awakened version of that. Like if I could get some really good Awakened stuff, this build would just keep coming to life, which is why I would run Caustic Arrow on one build and then Bone Shatter on the other one, because if I could run the Bone Shatter to go and farm out all that type of stuff, then I could make both builds better. So I think this was really well worth the time. And I don't have that much time into this build, 12 hours, and I've already got this far. So what I think I would do is league start this, get it up into as far into the mapping as I could go, and then bring my Bone Shatter build up behind it, because this build moves very quickly. Like I said, with all the movement speed on the passive tree, as well as the boots, like I don't have just 15% increased movement speed on these boots. That's not very good when you can get 30% movement on some, but you get extra stuff off the passive tree. So anyway, I thought this was a really cool build. I think this is going to be the version of Caustic Arrow that I use next league. I'm going to spend the rest of this league kind of refining it. Maybe I don't spend a ton of time on it. I definitely would like to get this to 95, and that would open up another 12 points I could put into here. I'm not entirely sure where I would put all the points, but I started going over here to get Aspect of the Eagle, and then these two over here with bow. Increased damage with bows, damage over time, critical strike, we've got that. There's a critical strike section that I started going into somewhere around here, or I was looking at. Oh, I guess I haven't gone into this one yet, but there's this Dire Torment, which gives you damage over time multiplier for ailments from critical strikes and a 40% increased critical strike chance. I thought about picking that up. I've also got like this jewel socket here. We've got Power Frenzy, I could pop over to this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to overcharge, pick that up. And there's some other things over here for frenzy charges, like maybe we could go over here and pick this up this way. Power charge, frenzy charge, we could pick that stuff up. So there's a lot of, 12 points could go into a lot of different things. So anyway, that's where I've gotten this build to. I love it. I'm having fun with it, and I might do a full video about it that, once I get this thing done. If I get it done to a point where I'm really happy about it, I may do a full video going over what all the different pieces are and how it all works. Like I said, I've still got a lot of gear to sort out, all the different flasks to sort out. I could do unique flasks with this because I've got this gain charge every 3 seconds. I think that's really cool. So that helps out in other ways too. So anyway, it's kind of a clean slate right now. And I think this is a really cool ascendancy. I definitely see why people use Trickster a lot. So anyway, that will do it for this video. We will catch you on the next one. Take care.